So we are in a situation because the United States presented Iran with three impossible demands. These three impossible demands are zero uranium enrichment, even for civilian purposes, to abandon its proxies in the Middle East, the Houthis, Hezbollah, the Shia militias in Iraq, Hamas, and to end or drastically reduce its ballistic missiles program. Okay, so these are three impossible demands, because basically what America says is that if you give up the right to defend yourself, we might not attack you. Oh, and by the way, we're not going to lift sanctions. So we're still going to strengthen you economically, but we might be nice to you if you accede to our demands. So these are impossible demands. And it was clear at that point that the Americans were looking for a pretext to attack Iran. Trump's envoys in these negotiations were Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. And these are two ardent Zionists who are close to Netanyahu. And we all know that Netanyahu wanted war. Steve Witkoff, during the negotiations, went on TV and said that, oh, the Iranians are like 1 or 2 weeks away from weapons-grade uranium arrangement, basically saying that the Iranians are negotiating in bad faith, okay? So the Americans did everything possible to make sure that the Iranians could not agree to peace, and they were just looking for a pretext for war. Nonetheless, a few hours before the Israelis actually attacked Iran, the Omani foreign minister, the Omanis were the ones who were mediating the negotiations, went on TV and said that the Iranians had compromised. The Iranians had agreed to zero uranium enrichment, even for civilian purposes, which before was a red line. And he also said that the Iranians were willing to negotiate with regard to their proxies as well as to their ballistic missiles program. And then what happened a few hours later? Well, the Americans and the Israelis killed their supreme leader. Okay? So another way of saying this is that for whatever reason, and we can argue about what the reasons are, the Americans and the Israelis are intent on war. And the reason why they have not articulated a strategy and a reason and a purpose is they want to maintain maximum flexibility, which means that they want to destroy Iran's capacity to be a nation state. They want to bomb Iran back to the Stone Age. They want to divide Iran into ethnic enclaves that will be divided and ruled by Israel. And that's the ultimate purpose of this war. That's why the Americans are now targeting these desalination plants. And that's why they're targeting Iran's energy infrastructure, right? So from the American perspective, they want to destroy Iran. And the Iranians recognize this. And that's why the Iranians have said that we will fight to the bitter end. So yeah, so maybe there will be some mediation. Maybe the GCC nations, maybe others like China will try to help negotiate a peace. But for whatever reason, the Americans are set on the destruction of Iran.